Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Rei Hotoda, and I'm the music director of the Fresno Philharmonic. I want to introduce our newly appointed Assistant Principal Cellist. Please welcome Isaac Pastor-Chernak.
Hi, Ray. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the Fresno Philharmonic family. Also in this interview is our wonderful principal violinist, the second violinist. This is Caitlin McSherry and her husband, Drew Ford, who is our brand new. Hi, Drew was just appointed section cellist of the Fresno Philharmonic. So welcome to both of you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having us.
I want all of the Fresno Philharmonic audiences and audiences all over to get to know all three of you. So I want to ask you, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves, a little bit about your background, and why did you choose music as your profession?
Well, I'll jump in on this one here. I started playing violin when I was 5, and I did a lot of fiddle music, a little of everything, and it just was always something I loved to do. I loved practicing. I loved learning tunes. I'd put tapes on and I'd record them back and forth to figure out songs I liked, and mostly doing fiddle stuff. I played backup for different bands and contests, all sorts of fun things. And then one of my Irish teachers gave me a tape of solo Bach, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I have to learn this. And that's kind of what really made me want to jump into classical music and learn a little bit more about all the different styles that are out there. But most of all, it's just been such a big part of my life, and I loved it so much. I never thought of doing anything else, really, is the honest answer. And it's so fun. I still love playing every day. I really do enjoy practicing and trying new stuff.
Thank you. And Drew?
Yeah, I was in 4th grade, at least in my district. I'm sure this is a normal thing that orchestras go around playing recruiting concerts. So I think the 5th or maybe the 6th grade orchestra in our school district came to our elementary school and played a little 20-minute long, 10-minute long concert for us in 4th grade. So my twin sister and I came home that day having heard the concert and told our parents, hey, we want to play cello and violin respectively. I know my parents had always figured we'd take some piano lessons or something like that. And so they were a little surprised. It hadn't occurred to them that string instruments would be on tap, but they said, sure, why not? So we signed up for starting in 5th grade and went down and got some rental instruments. And on the drive home from the rental store, my first moments with the cello, I took the cello out of the bag in the back seat of the car and learned to play the theme from Jaws, the opening theme from Jaws, Pizzicato on the C string. That I've just been cello ever since. I just really love orchestra. I like being part of the big group, the big feeling of being in orchestra.
And so you were in your youth orchestra and high school orchestra as well?
Oh yeah, I was in
the
high school orchestra all growing up. At some point I was in the South Carolina Philharmonic Youth Orchestra that was associated with a professional gig. And then the summer before my senior year of high school, an old school teacher was the personnel manager of South Carolina Philharmonic and said, hey, we're having an audition, you should come take it. So I did, and won my first professional job as a 17-year-old. So my high school job that I had was one of the youngest members ever of South Carolina Philharmonic, our local professional orchestra in Columbia, South Carolina, where I grew up. So yeah, I've been playing professionally since 17.
That's fantastic. Well, Isaac, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose the cello as your profession?
Of course. I mean, I don't think I can come even close to 4th grade Drew playing Jaws in the back seat, coming home from the rental store. The story that I'm told, and obviously I can't verify this, I was 3 years old. And I heard the cello and bass recitative in the 4th movement of Beethoven 9. And I said, Mommy, I want to play that instrument. So then, a few months later, we got a rental instrument, and I started taking cello lessons. And I think I always really loved it when I was a kid. And I ended up doing it professionally. And here I am, and I still really love it. And like Drew, my favorite kind of playing really is symphony and opera music, the big stuff where you're just a very small cog in a very big machine. And I feel immensely lucky that I get to do that. Well, in normal times, I get to do that for a living.
That's right. And during this time of the pandemic, when we're not able to perform together on stage, I know a lot of you have been doing projects on your own and thinking up new ideas and of things to do during the time where we're sequestered or not able to perform, as an ensemble. Isaac, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing these days?
Sure, of course. Well, when live concerts essentially went offline in mid-March, my girlfriend Allison, who's a wonderful pianist, she and I had the idea, well, why don't we try, emphasis on try, doing an online concert, a live broadcast online. So we put together 1 hour of sonatas for cello and piano, and we sold tickets online and broadcast it through YouTube Live, and it was wildly successful, well received. We had about 150 tickets sold from friends and family and strangers, actually, all over the country. And since then, we've replicated that success on a number of projects throughout the summer, mostly live broadcasts of various chamber music and solo projects that I've done. It's been very successful, and it's allowed me to take all of the projects that I had planned over the summer, all of the chamber music, and essentially do them as scheduled, except without a live audience.
Well, and I know there's a concert coming up this weekend. Can you tell us a little bit about this program that you're going to be doing?
Of course. So coming up this weekend, the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, I have a wonderful 1 hour program with pianist Miles Graber. Miles is a Bay Area legend, and in fact, he lives just like 2 minutes down the hill from me here in Berkeley. And he and Miles and I had been planning this program for about a year, I think. And well, we got together a few weeks ago. We got on the phone and said, "Hey, let's just do it online." So it's a 1 hour program, sonatas by Benjamin Britten, by Beethoven, and by J.S. Bach. And the Bach sonata, of course, is not an original cello and piano sonata. It's a sonata for viola da gamba and harpsichord that is played on any number of different instruments, including cello and piano, and works really well for that combination.
Well, good luck. I look forward to that concert, and I invite all of you to join in and watch our wonderful new assistant principal, Isaac, performing these wonderful works. So I would like to ask Caitlin and Drew, what have you been doing during this time?
Well, we've been doing a whole mix of things. Musically, when things switched over to being everything online, there were a bunch of short recording projects. We did the fun one for the Proxima series, and I did some other ones. And it's so different adjusting to making the videos and all of it. It's just such a different way to be playing music because we're not communicating with other players side by side. Drew and I, obviously, we get to play together. We had fun one evening pulling out a Mendelssohn symphony, and we played through a whole Mendelssohn symphony. And Italian? I think the Italian, because he's also a music librarian. So we have all sorts of music at the house.
Well, that's convenient. That's really good.
It really is. And so we've had fun with all different music things. I've been doing quite a lot of teaching. So there was a bit of switching over to FaceTime and Zoom, putting on spring recitals, making YouTube videos for students. So I felt like that's been keeping me pretty busy. And I've been playing a lot more fiddle music because that works pretty well on your own. You don't need a whole orchestra for that. So we've been pretty busy with all those things, but we also just bought a house in January. So we've been pretty busy with redoing tile floors and putting new flooring down and painting and gardening. We've been really quite busy with all sorts of fun things. And,
well, and lucky for you, you have time to do that. And without any stress, right?
And we've been trying to look on the silver lining of that it's been possible to do all sorts of fun things with the house that we wouldn't have been able to if we were normally on the road traveling and playing concerts for these months. So we've been trying to make the best of it, enjoy it, and we're having a pretty great time so far.
It's charitable to say we in the household projects. She's like 90% in charge of and doing the projects. I go and I putter in the garage and organize the tools, and sweep up and such, while Caitlin does the tiling and the flooring and the painting.
He's a very good helper, though.
Good helper.
Yes.
Wow. What a team. That's awesome.
So we've been having lots of fun with the free time and trying to make the most of it.
That's great. Well, I want to share with our audiences a video you just recently made, a duo that you put on YouTube and for our Facebook page. Everyone, please take a look at our Facebook page to watch the entire video, but we want to share it with you right now, with all of you.
Wrote some really beautiful music, and this one I thought would be pretty easy for us to just kind of play around with the variations together, because originally it's written for just a bass line very similar to Pachelbel canon, and that didn't really seem fair for me just to play a whole bunch of variations while Drew's playing a simple bass line. So we took turns picking the ones we like to play and kind of just cut and pasted them together. Sometimes we're overlaying the two solo parts together, and sometimes I play the bass line. So it was fun to just kind of sit and cut and paste and come up with our own arrangement of this. And it's such a beautiful, simple piece of music. I thought it was very fun to play also.
Great. And how is it collaborating together now that you've, been during this pandemic where you've been together since March? Have you gone hiking and doing all kinds of other things aside from renovating your home?
Yeah, I mean, also we're exploring the neighborhood. We live looking out over the Napa River, so we have some nice trails along the river. We've been having a nice time with that. And Drew just got some binoculars, so he's been having fun exploring. And last week we went and did a little bit of camping and fishing with a good friend of ours, Wayne Solomon, who you talked to just a few weeks ago. So other people in the audience know Wayne a little better as now. And we had a great time. We went up to the Stanislaus National Forest and did some fishing up there. Wayne and I both fly fish, and we did all sorts of cribbage. I think Drew might have something to share about the cribbage tournament.
I won the cribbage tournament. That's all there is to share.
That's great.
Yeah, we just had a great time getting out in the woods and just kind of getting away from everybody. It was nice and peaceful and quiet, and really just had a lovely time. So it's been fun having the time. Also, we're usually very busy in the summer with different music festivals. And it's just really been nice staying at home and appreciating how lucky we are to live in such a beautiful part of the country also.
Yes. And Isaac, what has kept you inspired during this time?
Well, I think first of all, just doing a ton of playing. I'm as busy or busier than I ever have been over the summer, with the amount of chamber music I'm playing. I've also, in the time I'm not, in the time between projects and between concerts, I've had the really wonderful opportunity to kind of work on my own playing in a level of detail and with a level of kind of thoughtfulness that I normally wouldn't. So I'm playing more scales and more etudes than I have in years, probably. And hopefully, I think that's reflected in how I'm playing. We'll see, right? Allison, my girlfriend, and I, we've taken a few kind of local-ish regional trips. It's, nothing outside of the Pacific time zone, for instance. Just kind of road trips here and there and a little camping, which has been really fun.
Great. Well, Isaac, what would you like to say to our Fresno Philharmonic audiences who've only met you now online? When we are able to come back together, what would you like to share with them during this time?
Of course. Well, first of all, number one, thank you for hiring me. The Fresno Philharmonic has such a wonderful reputation in the musical community. In California, I was thrilled to be offered the job back in February, and this is about the funniest timing on earth to win a position and then not play with the orchestra for maybe almost a year, although these things do happen. And I'm very excited to be out there and play with all the wonderful musicians in the orchestra, many of whom I'm already friends with, like Drew and Caitlin. And I'm looking forward to getting to know that part of California a little more. It's not a part of the state that I've spent a lot of time in.
Well, thank you so much, Isaac. Caitlin and Drew, what would you like to say to the Fresno Philharmonic audiences?
Well, we definitely miss sharing the music with you. The crowds and audiences in Fresno were just such a pleasure to play for. It's always something I look forward to over the season to come and play. And I've had the great opportunities to come play some chamber music and get to know some of the people in the community a little more through that. And it really is one of my favorite orchestras to play with. So we're very much looking forward to coming back and sharing some grand music with you.
Yeah, me too. I mean, same as Isaac, having only just won the job. I'm looking forward to coming and playing for the first time as a member of Fresno Phil. But unlike Isaac, I think it's probably like 2007 or 2008 that I started playing with Fresno Phil. So 12 or 13 years in the making for an audition to actually come around that I was also available to take and had the good luck to win. It was kind of, anyway, so it's fun to join the team officially, as it were, and get to play for the locals as soon as we can get back to playing for you, because it's all fun, but it's so much more fun when we get to play for an audience who are enjoying it along with us.
Well, I look forward to working with all three of you on stage in Soroyan with our audiences someday very soon. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you to Isaac and to Caitlin and to Drew for being a part of this series, the Green Room series. And please visit our website, fresnophil.org, for some wonderful, exciting news that we'd like to share with all of you very, very soon, and for more information about our organization. And we leave you now with some music. This is the finale of Tchaikovsky's Fourth Symphony, and we want you all to remember us, keep us close to your hearts, and please stay safe. Thank you all very much.